Hello everyone, this is Alan Castelino, Chairman and Managing Director with Mumbai Rozgar Private Limited and co-founder for series of startups like Transformatrix Global Private Limited, Cloud Mojo Tech Private Limited and Techsurance Private Limited. I'm here to share my experience of more than 2 decades with all of you all, and the topic for today is how to create an impactful presence or impactful profile while you are coming for an interview. So there are various aspects of pointers that we would like to cover today, but today the one point which I would like to highlight to all you audience out there is the wow factor, the world of work that you are going to get into. So when you are getting into a world of work, okay, there are various things that you have to be aware of, you should be knowing about. Okay, so first and foremost, let me introduce you to the business world, to the corporate work culture, the employment, the salary related things. So as a job seeker, these are the various things that goes in your mind, that how the business world will be, how the corporate will look like, what kind of salaries I can expect, and then as an employee, what is expected by the employer from me. So these are the various points that we are going to touch upon today. So first and foremost, you will be at a level wherein you have done your studies, okay, and you are at a juncture, okay, wherein you are planning to step into the corporate world. One thing you all need to remember, you are a great candidate for the role that you have identified for, but the reality is you're not the only one. There are many in the pipeline, there are many in the process of getting selected. So how do you stand out in the interview and get the role that you are expecting in the organization is what we are going to talk about today in this entire conversation and program. So the first and most important aspect of creating an impact in the interview will be writing a winning CV, a curriculum vitae, that is what we call. So when we talk about curriculum vitae, okay, this is a kind of Latin word, and it also speaks about course of life, all right, and it covers a lot of your details, especially details which talks about your academics, your experience and your skills. So if I have to talk about CV and resume, here we need to emphasize more on the CV. Why? Because it will completely cover your all details which are required by the employer to know about you. Now, if I have to make a winning CV, if I have to make a strong CV for myself, what are the different things that I need to be mindful of? First and foremost, in the contact information, I need to talk about my first name, my last name, that has to be very clear. I need to talk about my email address, a professional email address, your phone number, your mailing address, and your LinkedIn URL. Now, LinkedIn today has been a very, very strong and integral part of each one of us. Why? Because my validation as a professional will happen on LinkedIn, because it is considered to be one of the true resources or true source of getting someone validated. So today, if I have to talk about someone, I will definitely go on the LinkedIn profile to check whether the LinkedIn profile of this person exists and whether this person exists in place. Now, when I talk about introduction to your CV, okay, so there are various things which are very important. So first and foremost is the summary of your profile. Your summary of profile has to be very elaborative. At the same time, it should be little descriptive as well, wherein people should understand that what exactly you're trying to tell about yourself in the CV. Now, summary of your qualification and skills. Now, we all are different individuals. We have done different types of courses. We have gone to different type of institutions. So we need to be very clear about what are the different lines of educational skills that we have imbibed in us. So in order to tell the world or tell the interviewer, you need to be very clear that what are the things that you want to project. So right from your 10th standard, your 12th standard, your graduation, all those things should be mentioned out there to the topmost education that you have acquired. At the same time, there are what are the skills that you have acquired. Now, skills can be of two types. One is hard skills and the other one is soft skills. When I say hard skills, we normally talk about technical skills. And when we talk about soft skills, different skills like communication skills, your listening skills, certain certifications that you have acquired. So all those things you can talk about. Now, if you have attained some additional qualification, like example, you have done some certification from international country, or you have got some management course from a premier institute, all those things can be mentioned out there. Or you have attended certain specified niche trainings which will be an added advantage in your job role. That is something that you can always talk about, and you can be very vocal in your resume. Now, there are further components that I would like to emphasize on. As I was talking about skills, now skills are certain things that play a very important role in you getting selected in an interview. First and foremost, if you are very good in your communication skills, what benefit it would happen, or what benefit the company that you are applying for would get. If I'm good in communication skills, I would rather be in the front end doing a front ending job wherein I'm talking about my company, I'm marketing my organization, and talking and getting more and more customers. So front ending job would be a preferred job for me if I'm very good in my communication skills, especially the interpersonal skills or rapport building skills. These skills will play an important role. Apart from that, if there are other skills that you have acquired, like you are expert into certain domains, so those things also can be of great importance on your profile. Now, you need to highlight as a person who is newly looking out for a job, or if you're a graduate fresher just stepping into the corporate world and trying to experiment with the opportunity that you have, you need to talk about your projects also. What projects you have worked, okay, at a college level. I'm sure all of us might have been given some assignments by our professors, by our teachers, by our peers. So what projects have you worked, and do that project, what has been your input and what has been the output. So everyone is concerned about the outcome. So if your outcome is good, you will definitely get that kind of edge while you're talking about your profile. Most importantly, today people are looking out for your internship. That is a practicality. Like example, in my company, multiple companies that we are managing out here. So we take interns, and these interns come for a tenure of 2 to 3 months. Now, in this 2 to 3 months, they undergo multiple level of trainings, grooming sessions. There are some live projects given to them, and all these things amount to they becoming a very a packaged product. So either they get absorbed in the organization basis on their performance, or they get an edge over other candidates when they are going for an interview to go and talk about themselves. Because knowing the theory in the college and doing practicals, I think that creates a wow factor and gives you an edge over others. Now, when I come across a lot of these freshers, they say that I have just studied for those last 15 years or 17 years of my career, and I don't have much to talk about it. I would not agree with all of y'all. You have so many things to talk about. First and foremost, you can talk about your extracurricular activities. You might be a part of NSS. You might be a part of NCC. You might have taken part into some Leo club in Lions International, or a Rotract, or a giant club. There are so many things happening out there. Plus, you might be a key person in your society arranging for some events. So all these things, why I need to highlight in the profile, in your CV, is because it identifies your team player activities. So these things actually catches the eyeballs of the interviewer, because while you have the qualification, these additional extracurricular activities creates an edge for you on as compared to the others who have come in for the interview. You have to also talk about your achievements. Now, most of us, we do a lot of activities, but what has been your achievement? What is that one thing that you have gained? Okay, what is that one thing that you have achieved from the entire activity? Like example, you did a program and you were awarded as the top guy out there, or you have got the second runners up. whatever award is an achievement, so you can talk about it. Now, one more important aspect in your CV is we normally shy to write about the languages that we know. Now, we being in the country India, we by default know many languages out here, all right? In my case, I know around 9 languages. But in your case, if you know some international language like Spanish, French, you know German, you know Chinese, you know Japanese, please put in there in your resume, because you never know. The company would have a role in a particular country wherein they need someone with those language skills, and you would be the right person because you are put in that one point of language known. It can create an opportunity for you. So everything that you know you have in you, please put it in your resume, because that will be the game changer. Certain tips that I would like to give you with regards to the CV. First and foremost, do not take a printout of your CV on a normal paper. It has to be a bond paper. You need to have a professional ID. You cannot have an ID which will say I love you at gmail.com, or I love you baby at gmail.com. Some silly email IDs you cannot have. Those things you can do it for your personal purpose, but when you're sending it on your official communication to the client, you need to have a professional. Like example, in my case, it is alan.castelino at mumbairozgar.com or alan@transformatrix.in. So these are the official email IDs that I will be using. I would not be using any email IDs which will not create a kind of professional outlook. All right, so in your CV you need to use these fonts. Okay, these fonts, the font sizes, fonts should be normally Arial or Verdana, or you can use a size between 10 to 12 in the word. It cannot be too tiny. Once there was one CV that came to me, and I had to literally take the magnifying glass to check the CV, and it was very funny for me, because it was very difficult to read. So, and the answer that I got from the candidate is, sir, I was trying to save the paper. So I said that your thought process is very noble, but understand the fact that here you need to have the interviewer not to struggle. He cannot struggle to see your CV. He should be able to see the CV easily. Do not fake any information in your resume. Your resume has to be truthful, because if I have to hide a truth, I have to tell too many lies. It's always good to be truthful, so that you don't have to lie. So always remember, I can see a lot of CVs getting morphed, or they just do copy paste from some other CVs, and then when questions are asked, then they are falling flat on their faces. So it's always good to write the truth in your CV. You need to always have an alternative mobile number, because your mobile number, okay, definitely will be reachable. But in case if you get selected, and if someone is trying to reach you, normally the interviewer will have only 2 attempts, and after 2 attempts the person will give up. So if you have an alternative number of your father, your mother, or your friend, your call will not be missed. So I think these are the points which you need to keep in mind, so that you would have an impactful and winning CV. So to all the audience out there and people who are job seekers, this was the part 1 of our session. Okay, I would be coming up with the part 2 as well, wherein I will be focusing on emphasizing on how you can be super impactful in your interview presentation. So I will be revealing some great tips which candidates use, so that they can create a mark in front of the interviewer and get in their dream job. Thank you.